Here are 9 ways you can modify your training when you're not 100%, and state of the end, there'll be 3 bonus ones. Let's get it. I'm Dr. Thomas from Impact Health and Performance. We're going to be going over a couple ways you can modify your training when you're not 100%, whether this is pain, injury, surgery, or something else. We want to make sure that you move safely in the activity that you enjoy and continue participating, but are able to modify it to keep your body safe and recover and heal. So many people go to the doc, they go to the physical therapist and they say, take it easy, here's a steroid and a muscle relaxer, just take it easy. That is terrible advice. We want to make sure we get back to the activity, but if we modify it, then we can continue participating and regain maybe the tissue integrity or the muscle performance that was compromised. So here at the top, the first thing we can modify is frequency. And there's 3 ways we can modify frequency. The first one is number of times per week. So if you were training 5, 6, 7 days a week, we can kind of reduce that load for the number of times per week, and that would allow us to change the frequency. Next would be number of times per day. This would be if you're doing 2 a day, 3 a days, or doing a strength cardio split. You can of course reduce the number of times in a day that you're training. You can change the endurance, the length, the duration of how you're training. So this is most scalable for something cardio. So biking, running, swimming, we can change the duration of the activity. Moving on to the next big category is intensity. How do we modify intensity? We can change the weight. So we were previously deadlifting 200, 300 pounds. We can reduce the weight. That's going to reduce the demand on our tissues. Up next is going to be sets. So we can change the sets. And with the sets is changing the reps. So if we're previously going for a heavy strength dose, kind of that 80% 1 RM, doing 3 to 4 sets, 6 to 8 reps, things like that, we can always drop our weight, drop our reps, and increase our sets. So if we want to go to, for endurance, 3 sets of 15, 4 sets of 15, going that 50 to 60% 1 RM, to be a way we can modify the load to allow our body time to heal. Next thing we can change is time. When we're thinking about time, this is not just the duration of the workout, but this is more the time of how long it takes you to do each of the movements. So we have the power, the tempo, and isometric. So we think about the power, this means the speed or the velocity or the how we're doing the movement. So if we think about something simple like a bicep curl, okay, if we just do it at a nice steady velocity, are we doing it quickly? Are we doing it slowly or doing an isometric hold? We can vary all of those components with the power, tempo, and time. By tempo, what we mean is pacing. So if you're normally doing, a 2 count down and a 1 count up, well, how about we go for a 10 count down? So we lower the weight and then we go for a 10 count down on a back squat, come back up. That's how we can vary the tempo. Last one is going to be isometrics. So we know that a muscle is strongest halfway through the mid-range, slightly lengthened into the lengthened position. That's where we can maximally load that muscle without compromising the tendons or the muscle tissue itself. So going into like a 90-degree or a power isometric and holding that for 30, 60, 90, 2 minutes in a particular position can be a great way to load a joint, load a muscle, or load a specific area without fatiguing, without causing compromise to the entire situation. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, hit that bell so you get the notifications for when we're putting up new content. We're going to be making more content like this about modification of exercise, but so you can still participate, still engage in the activities that you love. And now we got the 3 bonus items. For the bonus items, these are going to be more of skilled things. So we can change the position. So what do we mean by this? So we think about if we're targeting the hips and the glutes, there's kind of different ways you can load them. You could do them vertical in standing. You could do them horizontal in kind of a leg press or a shuttle press that's more horizontal, or you can do it in kind of a variable position. So maybe like a decline, incline leg press, or even using cables, kind of the single leg style. For partial range of motion, this means that if either end of the range of motion is particularly painful or irritating, or if we have an injury where it's compromised, we can just go into a smaller range of motion. Ultimately, this isn't a great strategy for long term. This would just be to facilitate unlocking other motion. And then finally, changing the phase of the load. So if we're working on something like a bicep curl and we have an irritated, biceps tendon up here in the shoulder, like a biceps tendonitis from impingement, and maybe doing the concentric phase is very irritating, we can bias going up with both and then lowering slowly, kind of bias the eccentric phase of work. This would kind of allow the tissue to heal, but still allow us to get sufficient load and stimuli on the muscle so that we don't lose any gains we previously made. And so that's pretty much it for the whole list of ways to modify training with not 100%. If you have any questions about any of these, or you want help with how we could change the position, partial range of motion, or change phase or load, please leave a comment, shoot us a message, send us a text. Our phone number is listed below, and we would love to connect with you and help guide you. We can either do virtual sessions, we have our app, we can load exercises for you, or you can come see us in the clinic, and we would love to help you get back to moving your best.